Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for being here this morning. I'm Peter Panagore, and welcome to Not Church. I'll explain later. Profound mysticism, ancient and modern, east and west, through the lens of near-death experience. We, as near-death experiencers, NDE, and those who've had spiritually transformative experiences, STEs, often go through profound changes that affect us physically, spiritually, psychologically, and socially. In this After Effects series, we could call them After Gifts. In this After Gifts series, we've already dived deep into the spiritual and psychological impacts. You can look them up on my channel. Today, let's focus on 3 of the 6 physical effects these experiences can have on our lives. And I'll share a bit about my childhood and transformative experiences from back then. We've been exploring how near-death experiencers undergo radical transformations. So much so that 70% of married couples where one partner has had an NDE end up in divorce. We've also been looking at the similarities, overlaps, and connections between NDEs and STEs, doing a little research to understand how all these experiences change us and make us born again. The transformative power of intense spiritual experiences can similarly impact your life with after effects. It's impacted my life. I think it's similarly impacted yours. But before my first near-death experience, I had 6 spiritually transformative experiences. So if you haven't had an NDE, I am also like you. There was a period of time where I had these spiritually transformative experiences before my NDE. I had 6 of them before I was dead. These encounters may have given me some of the symptoms of transformation that I experienced as a child and teenager. And maybe this is true for you too. We have found in the past weeks that this is true. But we're in a different section now, so let's find out if this is true here, if STEs and NDEs overlap. In this series, we've been discussing how the effects of NDEs are often mirrored in STEs. Think of your after effects as symptoms. We'll learn more as we go along this morning. Scientific knowledge helps us understand who we are, who we've become after these transformations, and guides us through our spiritual, psychological, social, and physical changes. Science is really helpful, especially for me. I'll just talk for me. Knowing these things that I share with other people, it's very helpful to know. We might not fit every description perfectly. Slow down, Peter. We might not fit every description perfectly, but we can see ourselves in these after effects in part or in whole. Personally, I only experienced this kind of, I don't even know what to call it. It's not synesthesia, but where the divine, the I am, spoke through every molecule of my body and every molecule of the earth and sky and clouds and trees and snow and skis when I was heroically tripping on psychedelics my first time. Overdosed, took a lot, had this synesthesia-like experience that totally transformed me. I became a different person. They started a nickname for me in my high school, Peace Pete, Peter Peace, and it wasn't kind. For some NDEers, it's a frequent thing to have all of these symptoms or some of them all the time. Recognizing these patterns help us understand that we aren't alone in our oddness. And this is important. We're not alone. We're not alone. Not only in that we had these experiences, but that our transformation makes us sort of odd to everyone, which is why we gather at Mystic Tea Salon for our conversation at 11 a.m. Eastern Time following Not Church, because we are a community, a global community of people transformed by light and love. So let's find each other. Let's understand ourselves and each other and find each other. And here's how we know each other. How do we know each other? Here's how. As an NDEer, we often develop an unconditional love and acceptance for others that surpasses social expectations. We start to see every person with a deep sense of equality and generosity. There's a profound excitement and appreciation for the uniqueness in everyone we meet. Our ultimate goal is to serve as a channel of universal love. At least that's my purpose. I hope it's yours. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. So please say yes or no in the chat or comment on this scientific data, which was researched and presented by the esteemed International Association for Near-Death Studies. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of my friends at the IANS conference in Phoenix, Arizona. Right now, I miss you all, and I hope to see you next year. I heard it's in Chicago. That's a rumor. But before we dive deeper, let's do what's best for ourselves, which is to surrender to the light within us. Let the goodness with a capital G at the core of our hearts, of your heart, expand. Breathe into your heart chakra. Here, hold it. Wait a beat. Release. And use your belly breath to focus your mind, centering on your heart, surrendering yourself. Heart knowledge matters most. Few breaths. Charge up. We, as near-death experiencers and STEers, often undergo profound changes in how we perceive the world and ourselves. These changes are not just psychological, but intensely physical. First, let's talk about our heightened sensations. Many of us start experiencing the world in a way that is much more vivid. Colors are brighter. Light is brighter. Sounds are sharper. And even simple textures can feel more intense. This can be both beautiful and overwhelming, depending upon the environment we're in. Beauty shines more brightly in my world, regularly captured by a sunset, a new moon, a starscape, a bumblebee, or a beautiful human being. Light hurts my eyes. I always go outside with dark glasses and a brimmed hat, regardless of the weather. And if I don't, the pain in my eyes forces me to look down to the ground, which is okay while gardening, but it's not ideal. The upside of my light sensitivity, which a friend of mine at the conference lost her glasses as she arrived, her dark glasses, which was not a fun thing for her. The upside is that I see well in the dark. Like a baby, I can become quickly overstimulated and overwhelmed by sensory input. I'm squirming in my seat as I say that. Though with the right person, this sensitivity can be quite pleasant. Loud sounds jangle my mind, especially long, elongated, really loud bass signs or sirens in the city. They disrupt my thinking. I can't concentrate. They blind me, sort of. Does this happen to you? But as I said, sometimes the supersensitivity can be quite pleasant. Maybe it's my ADHD, but I'm very particular about the touch on my skin. Certain textures or touches repulse me, certain fabrics and loud noises, they do. They completely overwhelm my brain. So, how about you? Any of these sorts of impacts after your transformation? Let me know. Next, there's a significant shift in our basic needs. This is what happened to me, particularly how we eat and sleep. Some of us find that our sleep patterns are entirely altered. We might stay awake through the night, feeling more energized when the rest of the world is asleep. For me, I needed 9 hours of sleep. Suddenly I needed more sleep. And similarly, our diets might change. My diet changed after my triple hit of LSD. I became a vegetarian for 20 years. That spiritually transformative experience of the end of separation from the ultimate left me, well, it made me a vegetarian for 20 years. We might develop a stronger preference for plant foods, or suddenly become more sensitive to foods we used to enjoy. And like I said, after my STE started, as I was a lacto-ovo vegetarian for those 20 years, but I sickened myself. Oh my gosh. This is one of the after effects. This just freaking happened. Do you see that light come on? That light just, this is electromagnetic. This happens all the time. My hands are, cheapers, creepers. Let's see if I can turn that down. There we go. Whoa. I have a little device. Put it back where it goes. Huh. But I was a lacto-ovo vegetarian for 20 years, but I sickened myself. I was sickening myself because it turns out that I have sensitivities to soy, eggs, and wheat. So I was just making myself sick as I was trying to do the right thing. And sometimes our animal nature needs to be respected. Got to respect your body. Now, did your diet or sleep patterns change after your STE or NDE? Me? 9 hours, baby. That's what I needed. So then there's electrical sensitivity. And this is a fascinating after effect. It's common for us to develop highly sensitive electromagnetic fields. We might feel discomfort near strong electrical fields, or more intriguingly, some of us find that we can cause electrical malfunctions like just happened just by being near them. And for me, it's definite yes on both of these counts. 2 summers after I died, a lightning bolt struck me in my shoulder and exited my thigh a full mile under blue skies. I was under the blue sky, clear sky, a full mile from the electrical storm. Didn't hurt me, scared the bejesus out of me. All happened so fast, like a bomb going off. Now, many of you seen podcasts, other podcasts I've done, and when my studio lamp suddenly did what they just did, this lamp, it just went from, I don't know, what did I have it at? Like 19, and it went up to 100% in a different color. Okay, it changed colors too. It went from bluish to bright red. And sometimes it just happens when I get more intensely internally illuminated. And sometimes it just does it. And the watches, radio signals too. There's a lot to this electromagnetic interference. How about you? What has happened around you? Put it in the notes. Put it in the chat. What about your electrical field? So this list it's just a glimpse, just a small glimpse into the complex and multifaceted physical after effects that we near-death experiencers and possibly many STEers, I did, have impact our lives. Some of it is positive, and some of it feels a little negative. I used to think of it as a blessing and a curse. Now I just accept the troublesome things that come as a result of it as part of my life. But initially, it was very disconcerting. You spend a bunch of money on a watch and it stops working, and the jeweler says, "Well, I don't know why. Everything seems to be working." Now, these transformations shape our daily lives and our interactions, not only with the world, with the people around us. Although these after effects can be challenging, many of us embrace them as part of our own evolution, a more profound connection within our new physical natures. Somehow, DNA shifts. I don't understand how these things work. There must be a biological connection to it, I assume. And therefore, as we change, the world around us changes because our everything about ourselves is known through our senses. And when our senses change, the information coming to us changes with it. In the coming weeks, we're going to explore the social after effects. And these are the trickiest ones of all. The social after effects, the social after gifts. My friends don't think so much. The social after effects of our altered inner world and how it impacts all of our relationships. No exclusions. There's this consistency that comes with this consistency that can't be argued away, or that's it can't be argued away. It is what it is, and it becomes who we are because we change. Now, the insights that we talked about today are supported by research from iands.org, from iands.org, IANDS, and other studies, which have explored the wide range of after effects associated with NDEs. And they seem to be applying to STEs. And I want to give special thanks to Tricia Barker Barton for her presentation on the IANDS website. Next Sunday, we're going to continue with part 2 of the physical after effects of NDEs, and we're going to be considering our feelings of being disassociated from the body, energy surges, and metabolic changes, and synesthesia and enhanced perceptual abilities. My mystic friends, thanks for joining me here at Not Church. And I'm sticking with the name because it turns out it's become a key tag on my YouTube channel. And this is a shoestring operation. So Not Church it is. And I know that some people are going to be like, oh, great. Other people are going to be like, oh, no. Oh, well, it's a YouTube algorithm thing. I'm sticking with it. So a huge thanks to all of my supporters for keeping me streaming with you, for helping to create this community that we meet at the top of the hour. Link below in the description. And please join us. Lurkers are welcome. It's an open forum for conversation about spirituality among the people who understand you and to whom you may speak about the things you can't speak to anyone else or to too few people. And you know who you are. If my thoughts and heart are helping you grow spiritually, please consider supporting me or book a time to talk with me if you need some guidance or spiritual conversation. 40 years of practice. I'm at Peter Panagore, www.peterpanagore.love. Peace. All right, I'm going to take a look at the chat and see what's going on over here. Grab my clipboard. Thanks for being here live, everyone. Let's see what's going on by frequency vibration. Let's see. I don't know where to begin. Where do I begin? There we are. Oh, after I spoke last time. Say hi to folk. Hi, Michelle, Sue, Jen, Wes, Barbara, Catherine. Maybe in some cases, Tom says, yes. Good. I'm glad to hear that. You do carry a charge, Tom. Robert Forsyth. I'd like to compare the spring's knowledge of how the divine works. The math of the Father teaches what to expect of the future. Little things not thought as important by the unenlightened are important. This is true. This is part of the social problem. It's part of, what we think is important, other people don't. It's just the way it is. Yep, that's me. But lots of STEs, no NDE, thank goodness. Hi, Andrew. That's you. Yes, Supersensitive Sue. Catherine, SDE are here. Yes to the experience of ongoing unconditional love. Tom, please hit that thumbs up button. It matters. Thanks, everybody. New Gwen, good to see you again. I'm sorry, Dad. I said something wrong to you tonight. I regret that. I would love to say sorry to you, but I feel that I can't. May you find in your heart that you already do. And peace to you and your dad. And then maybe if you do in your heart, maybe then you can say it to him. But maybe find it in your heart. Give yourself that strength. Sound sensitive and touch sensitive, Catherine. I can't handle the sound of unfinished ceramics. Oh, yeah. Totally visual, primarily, says Kristen. Love, 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 says Tom. Vineyard worker, didn't want to eat at all for a while. Oh, I hear you. I didn't even mention that. Pizza, the first thing I ate was pizza, and it was like the weirdest thing. All these sort of, not the first thing, but the first thing that was processed, I was eating gorp, which was also weird to munch and consume. It was totally weird. But I'm sorry, didn't want to eat at all for a while, found it gross. Yes, I found it gross. It was like disgusting. Why do I have to put these things in my mouth? And then, process it. It's just totally got over it. And then I'm back to being my gross self. Yeah, me too. Yep. Hypersensitive to non-natural fabric. Can't wear them. Same here, Amy. I hear everything. I nervous system is hypersensitive to everything. That's a good way to put it, Amy. The nervous system becomes hypersensitive to everything. No exclusions. That seems to be the case too. Hey, Luna, I was born like this, sensitive, can't hold certain fabrics, can't stand repetitive noises, now trying to endure the feelings, emotions, and sensations I've been avoiding all my life. Wow, that's powerful. How are you enduring them? Wow. I've met people like that. That's a hard life. It was so cool to watch, said Tom. Kristen, little bit of a radio, sometimes computer. Yeah, there you go. But my lights behave themselves, says Kristen. They do. Lights can behave themselves. They have their own mind. And it's pretty bright. I've got a lot of suddenly maybe something else happened. That's pretty light. I'm going to turn that light off. That's wicked bright. I'm not sure why it's so bright in here. Street lights turn off when I go by them. Notice it all the time. Not all the time, but enough to notice. Needs change in all: sleep, food, fabric, sound, taste, smell, all my senses, and my sixth sense. Woo! Medication can take about a quarter of a dose, many sensitivities to what goes on in my body, says Sue. I've always had strange electromagnetic issues around me, Jill. There's music. I know the creators who are not connected, and there is music. I know the creators who are connected and those who are not. Yeah, I call that my BS meter. I came back with a pretty large BS meter. Me too. So you too, as well as those makers of YouTube videos, some teach needed info, both work in mysterious ways. For me, I am just told. Okay. I'm not sure I understand all of that, but I hear that you're just told, and I respect that part of it, because me too. And you just listen and hear, and that's the way it is. By vibration frequency, yes, vibration frequency is a way to put it. Remember, that's also metaphor. It's this prana energy. It's the Shakti. It's the Holy Spirit, the Paraclete, as Jesus, when he didn't call it that, but his disciples did. My parents used to ask me, how do you turn on the lights? You must be doing it roughly because you burn out all the bulbs. The electromagnetic activity went through the roof. Standing fans that were not even plugged in would start spinning wildly. Brand new light bulbs would become very bright, then blow out. Sounds like Luna rather, and also talking true with Julie Hoyle. Oh, hey, Julie. There you go. Good to see you here this morning. Amy, Sue needs to have the same problem. Needs, I have the same problem with pharmaceuticals, do much better with natural remedies. Amy is telling Sue that she has the same problem. I understand typing errors. I make typing errors all the time. Same here, Robert. Um, not church works in so many ways. Thanks, Kate. Glad you're still doing this real talk. Thanks, Jill. Light flickered while I was sharing near-death experience, the same story I shared last year at the IANS conference. Yeah, all right. There it is. There it is again. Oddly, people and cars want to be near me. Oh my gosh, I hope that the cars are off, Peggy, when they want to be near you when they're parked. But yeah, people for sure. Michelle Heron, blessings to all. Thank you. Right back at you, Brian. Hi, Peter. I'm trying to get myself to realization or enlightenment. I'm 65 and feel this is untainable to me. We can talk about that. I'd love to talk to you about that. Let's talk about that. Maybe coming up at the Zoom, maybe in private. I definitely have. Okay, maybe contact me. Peterpanagore.love. I had an NDE in a dream. Then I awakened to what the world doesn't see. If that makes any sense to you, I'm new here. Hi, Big. Yeah, sure. So here's this thing. To the mind, the dream and the reality, there's no division between those things. I mean, that's a scientific, like I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson I heard say that last week on a video. That to the mind, the difference between the dream, the experience of the dream, and the experience of the real world is the same thing. And that's also in the Bhagavad Gita, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So, hey, Big Gaz, we haven't even really ever talked about that kind of experience. That's interesting. Thanks for showing up and saying so. After my NDE, I traveled through the universe when I closed my eyes. Me too. Well, you're one of the few people I've ever heard say that. We only have a couple minutes here, and I need to go because I need to take a little break. Guys, hope you come to Mystic Tea Salon. Link is below. The dream when I died disconnected me from this reality, severed the connection. Yeah, I can help you with that. Or if maybe you found help yourself. Animals are drawn to us. Yes. Good morning from the cool and rainy Arkansas. Hey, Lynn. All right, I got to go. I'm going to turn on the Zoom, and I'll be back in a couple minutes to that. Peace and love, everybody. Thanks for being here. Peace and love.